Hey guys, this is Hell Hades. This is another Raid Shadow Legends video. Guys, what we're doing today, we've got Riptide's account. He has redeemed for free an account takeover. Anyone can do this on my Twitch. Come and join me on Wednesday, Friday or Sunday night, 8 PM UK time, 3 PM EST, and you can come and watch some of this stuff live, or you can come and earn your own channel points for free and redeem this stuff yourself. So what's going on with Riptide then? Riptide has been smashing his way through faction wars. Look at this. He's got one challenge left. The Dwarves. Probably the toughest one. He's actually got a couple of stars to gain on stage 14, and he needs to beat stage 21. The stage 21 boss is one of the hardest bosses because he ignores defense. He just slams his way through defense, and he's got a bunch of... It just nukes you down. It just nukes you down. So what do you need to do for this? You need to build high HP teams. You need to try and focus the killing against someone who's a decent tank. And I feel like for those that have fused Brogni, this has just become tons easier. Okay, beforehand it was pretty tough. I feel like Borgni just makes this a ton easier with those shields because we were relying really on all of the healing coming from someone like a rearguard. But looking at this roster, we've got Brogni, we've got a Mountain King, we've got a Torment, we've got a Rearguard, we've got Gala Longbraids. Wow, we've actually got some top quality champions in the Dwarf faction here. So the one thing I feel like we're missing that I'm not seeing here is actually somebody that blocks debuffs. I wonder if we've got in the vault, let's just go by faction. I wonder if we've got in the vault a Grizzled. Grizzled Joel is like my go-to for the block debuffs. No, we don't. So we've got a few other kind of contenders that would have been good, actually, here. But I feel like we can definitely do it with the champions that we've got available to us right now. So who am I thinking to bring in? I would like Rockbreaker to be my tank because he's got a passive ability which reduces the damage he takes. I'll see if I can do anything to build him up. But then we've got, if we can't use him, then we're going to use somebody else, maybe Brogni. But we've then got a damage dealer, another damage dealer, a healer and a shield champion. So I feel like we've probably just about got enough. We're just going to struggle with debuffs. We're going to struggle a bit with debuffs. So I guess let's get into building some of these champions out. This build... it's a bit of a silly one because once you've beaten this boss, you probably never farm 21 again unless you just leave dwarves with funny builds. Because really, you just need to pump HP high on your dwarf team. You have your tank as the lowest HP champion, and then everyone else kind of just needs to be a higher HP level than your tank. And that's not a natural way that you'd build dwarves. Most of these dwarves should be built with defense. You don't really build defense in these builds. You go high HP and... basically allow yourself the grace of being hit a couple of times. So I'm going to build all of these out. I think I'm going to go for Brogni, Rearguard. They're like first two on the team sheet. Maybe Rockbreaker tank still, but we could go for something like a Mountain King. His HP would be too... his HP will be too high. I think maybe I might even go for a Brogni tank. And then we're going to go Gala damage, Mountain King damage. We need Rearguard for the heals. But maybe it's just... maybe I just try it with the 5 that he's already got fully built and see if we can just get it done straight out. Okay, guys. What I've done here is I've built out the different champions, all high HP. HP is the king here. We've got Brogni set up in one immunity set, some perception and some cruel gear. Doesn't really matter. I'm just gone for... I've actually gone for him to have some good crit rate, some HP and some speed. Then all of the jewelry items here, HP across the board, plenty of speed. So I feel like a couple of things. He's going to punch out some good value shields. He's also going to give us a bit of damage, and he's running pretty quick. He's not going to be our tank. His HP pool is just too big to even make it that viable. I guess I could do it if I completely changed his build out to make him pretty much like a straight out damage dealer, which is not a terrible option. But for test 1, we're not going to do that. I've got Torment. High HP, so I switched his defense gear out to HP gear. I've left his build pretty similar to his arena build, so I don't mess it around too much. But high health now, so that he's not going to tank. Decent amount of speed, and then he's just got a bit of damage. Maybe I should have just made him more damage and like take some of the arena stuff out, but I don't want to waste silver, so let's see if it works first. Mountain King I've kept in a shield set. I've sped him up a little bit. He's got high crit and crit damage, high HP. He's really just in there to do damage. We've got Rearguard, who's got 4 pieces of immortal gear, so that she's going to regen some health throughout the different wave attacks. She's also going to do ally protection, so Gala's now going to be a tank. I don't know how that's going to go, to be honest, but Gala's going to be a tank for now. But Gala's going to be protected by Rearguard for some of that damage, so Rearguard does need to regen some health. And then Gala, lowest HP but still high, 53k. High speed, high crit damage. My aim here is that even though she's going to be taking big hits, she's going to come back with big smacks herself and top her health up. I've also, this is literally just for this fight, by the way, I've gone Bulwark on 2 champions for masteries. They've both got a free reset on their masteries, so I was like, why not? Basically, what is Bulwark going to do here? It's going to tank up some of the damage that Gala takes. So we'll see if this works or not. But final faction wars on the path to Lydia. Can we beat this horrible boss? One of the worst things about this faction as well, and there is a dwarf now that could do this, but we've got very little decreased defense. So killing the waves takes a lot of time. And you actually need to manual wave 2 towards the end at least to get your main abilities back. We've got some good crowd control here though. We've got crowd control from Tormund, and he hits pretty hard. We've obviously got AoEs now coming in from Borgni, which we didn't have before. I've got the wrong champion in here. Rockbreaker might still be someone who comes back in, by the way, but he's not in for this. Who did I build? Not any of you. Who did I build? Oh, Borgni, there we go. Yeah, Rockbreaker may still end up coming back in. I'm not sure, because he's such a good tank for this. He's probably the best tank, but I figured he's not a 60. Everyone else was a 60. It still may just be that at 50, he's my best champion here. So decreased attack's going to be big when we get to the boss, as well as decreased defense from our rearguard. She's actually huge in this fight. Borgni bringing the AoE, decent amount of damage. And obviously keeping those shields topped up. We should have no issues at all on waves. Borgni does so much. He does so much for this faction in terms of block debuff, shields. Yeah, loads going on with him. So we're pretty comfortably getting through these waves. I guess I'll ping us on to the next set because this is going to be pretty easy from here. Honestly, no trouble at all with any of these waves for these champions. You've got a big shield set. Mountain King giving us tons of shield control, and he's also bringing in the slams when we want it. We've got Borgni topping those up. We've got healing and protection from rearguard. It's honestly such an easy kind of clear, when normally this has been pretty tough in the past. So literally just bringing Borgni in here. Obviously he's got some OP legendaries as well for wave control. Now when this is going to get challenging is the boss fight, because this boss in particular doesn't care about OP legendaries. He's like, I don't care if you've got high defense pools. Unless you are going to keep reviving your champions, you're going to struggle with this boss. So this still is definitely not a cakewalk at this point, but I feel like Borgni does make it easier. And he's just put himself unkillable for a couple of turns. So we're obviously through this. Now, what I do here, just take it off of auto, manual the last bit. He's got a couple of turns being unkillable, so that's perfect. We can just keep A1 him in the face, let him run through his turns, get all of our abilities back for the boss fight. Because actually, for the first time going through 21 boss, you probably want to manual it. More so, I'd say, if you had a Grizzled in here and you were going to control putting out a block debuffs. But I suppose we're going to do the same thing with Borgni. Borgni's kind of replacing that block debuffs that Grizzled would have done for us. So, actually, even on another level, insane champion here for us. So, keep A1s going. Hurry up, hurry up. Maneater, you are not the MVP of this fight. As you're getting a bit crispy around the arms there. Look at that. Flaming arms. So, nearly done. Okay, thank you for that. Good old little tap. Right, so on to the main event then. On to the boss. Now, all I need to do here, really, every time, there's a few things going on. every time he's taking damage, he gains turn meter. So just bear that in mind. You want to kind of manage your big hits with the right champions. He's got the ability to clean off debuffs and then place, this is on a 4-turn cooldown, place True Fear and stuns on your team. This is nasty. This is what you want to block debuffs against on a 4-turn cooldown. And then he's just going to swing and smack. That's all he's got, really. So we're just going to put in some good damage. Nice and early. Get another turn. Bring another slam in. Got to be careful of his turn meter. So we're going to do our block debuffs ability here. Get it on for 2 turns. Perfect. So he can't do any of those fears or stuns against us at this point. I'm going to go for... This is a little bit cheeky. So I can either go for decrease attack and take less damage. I'm not worried about how much damage we're going to take on this hit. I'm actually going to try and land a decreased defense. Didn't get it. Decreased defense would have been big there for me. Ignore 50% of his defense. We're just going to give him a smack. Big hit. And he's getting a turn. So obviously nothing's happened to us here. We are going to take a hit. But not too bad, right? At this point. Now we're going to go with our highest damage move. So Tormund isn't really useful here other than hitting. Like if I built him for pure damage, he'd be more useful here to me right now. This is how we top up the shield. Bam, so the shield grows. We're going to try and do decrease attack this time. Got resisted, that's annoying. Come in with a big hit. And again, in he comes, and he's starting to hit our Garland now. So we're starting to be in a little bit more trouble. But obviously, we've almost half-healthed him already. Got a burn on him, that's actually good. 3 ignores. Grants an extra turn if the champion's full HP after using this skill. She should be. She's got lifesteal gear on. She gets another go. A1. Gives herself a mini shield. We're going to put the ally protection out now because she's going to start taking some damage. Also gives us the heal to top up when that damage comes in. Next turn, he's going to... See how much damage we just took here? Next turn, he's going to use that spread ability again. I need to make sure that we don't end up starting to tank damage from our rear guard. So now we get that block debuffs up. Have I got time to get him to go twice? It's probably too risky to try it, I think. I don't want to not have block debuffs up when it happens. I think it's too risky. I'm just going to throw the shield up. I don't want her to get an extra turn here. Don't think she does on that one. Heals up. A1 here. She gets a bit of a heal from the gear that she's wearing. Good hit there from that A1. So again, we've blocked the debuffs. We're looking pretty good. A2 from Tormund again. That's his hardest hit. He's actually been probably basically useless in this fight, actually. He has been the most useless in terms of, you know, something they're bringing to the fight. So that might surprise a few people. A lot of people think Tormund OP. Not really for this. He's OP for pretty much everywhere else in Faction Wars, but for this particular part, not that great. Decrease attack has gone on this time, which just helps us. But this feels like it's totally in the bag. She's taking a hit, no problem. And then, bam. Faction War Dwarves done. Lydia is going to be in the bag for Riptide here, which is pretty cool. Take a quick screenshot for him. I'm sure he's going to be elated with that. I'll let him finish 14 and actually get the Lydia himself. But there you go. Brogni brings so much to this team. This is easily the hardest Faction War team, and it's just been made way simpler with Underpriest Brogni. So there you go, guys. Hopefully you managed to fuse him. Hopefully this helps you with Dwarves. It's going to help you with Dwarves, by the way, right the way through, from stage 1 through to 21. So there we go. Another faction done. Another takeover done. I've been Hell Hades. I will see you later.